Hey everyone. So, we're almost at the end of 2024, and what a year it's been. Back in October, I released a video that now has 180,000 views. And in that amount of time, I think that's a record for my channel. So I want to thank you all for your support. And yeah, we've experienced some growth, which is really exciting, especially with the advent of my company, Dragline Dynamics, which is sponsoring this video. Thanks to everyone who's booked consultation sessions with Dragline. And I want to thank everyone who placed an order for Symbolite, which is the flexible lighting fixture that we developed that I use on my super suit. I had a lot of fun making the Symbolite orders that came in this fall. Now this video is not gonna be anything super special. I have an editor now, but we're sort of still getting used to each other's styles. He's almost done with the first video that he's gonna edit. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. It should be coming out really soon. I just wanted to tide you guys over with this little presentation. It's a project that took just 2 days. This little guy here, present for my nephew.
It is Christmas time in Ann Arbor and all across the world, so I'm thinking a lot about what I'm going to be able to get my family members for Christmas, as I'm sure many of you are. I've been thinking about what I can make my little nephew. He is obsessed with robots and he knows that I'm a robot scientist. So what I want to do is see if I can build him something that sort of encompasses this cultural idea of a toy robot that we have. Got his big blocky head and these big square eyes and a big rectangle mouth, and maybe his arms move back and forth and his legs move up and down, and he just kind of moves forward just with this very simple method of locomotion here. I've been thinking a lot about, with projects like this, Charlotte, you know, what makes things able to walk? How does bipedal or any pedal locomotion work? Octopedal in this case. And of course, this is a lot simpler than what us humans are capable of. Typically, humans, we have a hip joint and a knee joint and an ankle joint and then a foot, right? And there's this complex coupling of this angle and this angle and this angle such that this foot does the trajectory we want. And then we want to actually match that up with a second leg, right? Such that that leg does the trajectory we want. And the human brain and the spinal cord and all of these circuits that exist within us, they've evolved really well to be able to do this properly, to couple all of these joints together so that we can run and walk, and which is obviously super beneficial for us. For this toy robot though, typically these robots have like a very simple method of locomotion. They just have these two legs, they're separated in the x-axis, and they have this planar trajectory in the ZX plane. And this trajectory typically just has these legs kind of move in this elliptical motion here, where you're just kind of stepping like this over and over again. In order to make this work, we have to have a very specific frequency and phase coupling between these two legs. What do I mean by that? So to walk in a straight line, these legs have to be at the same frequency. You need to step the same amount within the same amount of time, no matter which leg you're looking at. We're talking about matching frequency. If you're looking at the position of the leg versus time, you'll see something that looks like this. And this is the end of what we call the period of this cyclical motion. If you look at your other leg, you want to match the frequency. So let's say this is your right leg. Now let's graph the left leg. So what's going to happen if we have the left leg and the right leg do exactly the same trajectory? It's not going to be taking steps, right? So if these are your legs, it's going to just go like this. That's not really walking, right? What you need is to have a phase shift, and that phase shift makes the legs act like this. What we actually want the left leg to do is to start in the exact opposite position as the right leg. Move in the same direction, of course. This point on the right leg becomes this point on the left leg, and that is a 180-degree phase shift. Because in cyclical motion, we're talking about movement between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So I want to make my nephew a little robot that does these very simple steps. And because these legs are coupled together, we only need, in theory, one motor to be able to drive it. But I do want to have him learn some things. He's almost 5, so he's not going to be able to understand the intricacies with mechanical and electrical engineering, but he should be able to turn a little knob such that the frequencies of these two legs are matched up. I could have 2 motors, and one of them has a potentiometer in series, one of them has a constant resistor in series. He can turn this knob to make the robot match up the frequencies of the 2 motors. I would rather have just a single motor and then have some mechanism that he can tune such that the leg frequencies match up. That's going to be tricky, right? So it's also a challenge for me. This motor needs to drive a tunable mechanism. The tunable mechanism will in turn drive one of the legs of the toy robot. So the tunable mechanism could be any number of things. Could be like gear shifting, an adjustable pulley. Of these 2 things, I kind of feel like this will be the easiest for like a child to use. So I'm gonna go and check and see what's around for like adjustable pulley mechanisms, see what people have done before with stuff like this. So whenever I look up like a variable pulley mechanism, I always see this one mechanism, and that's pretty much the only one that I see. And it occurred to me, it's kind of wild. If only one pulley gets bigger, the belt has to get bigger as well. I experimented with making my own version of this, but ultimately I realized it would probably be way too difficult to do in the short amount of time I had to complete this project. I did some more searching and I came across this super cool mechanism called a continuously variable transmission. This relies on pulleys that expand not radially, but axially, and their walls are angled such that the axial expansion will actually change the effective radius that the belt interacts with. And they have 2 of these pulleys. One expands while the other contracts. So I started out by trying to replicate this continuously variable transmission. So the CVT idea didn't really pan out. I've made a couple different designs. This is my latest one. And here I'm just sort of relying on like, this is like a lever. You can see it's not super rigid, so that's definitely a design flaw. But it's pivoted here. And so you have these 2 pulleys, which are like have conical walls, and the belt goes around them. So the idea, right, is that as this side compresses, this radius gets bigger and this radius gets smaller. The issue is like there's such high friction because the force required to squeeze this belt is so high that the friction is just too much. You're maybe starting to see belt movement, but like it's not transferring to the other axle, like at all. Like it's kind of wiggling it, but like there's just too much slippage. And so this was a fun idea, a little prototype. The CVT idea, continuously variable transmission, definitely something I want to keep in mind for the future, but I think I'm going to have to go with the 2-motor electronic approach using potentiometers like this one. This version of the idea requires much less thought. I think I'll be able to make something cool. Now that I knew I was going to be using the electrical approach instead of the mechanical approach, I knew that the project would be a lot easier, and I started working on the aesthetics. So I went to GrabCAD and tried to find a sort of existing toy robot design. A lot of these designs didn't really seem to fit the archetype.
Hello, Peter.
So big thanks to this guy for making a super classic retro robot model. It has a very cool look. Definitely something I never could have come up with on my own. You know, I'm not really an aesthetics guy, unfortunately. But I adapted this model's aesthetics, added motors, internal mechanical components. Finally, it became something that could potentially take its first steps. Okay, so we have a almost completed robot here. So I've connected the battery here, and I've designed this such that the battery kind of just sits in like a little backpack here. That's what these 2 pegs are for. And yeah, I think it looks really good, that's for sure. I'm really happy with the way, like, you know, I kind of decided to label the body parts and maybe some of the like very basic engineering aspects such that, you know, maybe some vocabulary is included as well. You know, The difference between right side and left side is also there. I forget. It definitely, when I was a kid, it definitely took me way too long to remember which was which. But legs seem to move, which is cool. And you can tune the speed. Which is nice. The question is, will it walk, right? I don't know if it'll walk. Right now, it can't really stand up, but that's okay, because I've sort of accounted for the fact that I might need some shoes for this guy, so that it can walk better. That's what these pegs are for. Yeah, so I'm gonna print those and then add the battery pack here. And you might notice that I have these potentiometers in the shoulder sockets, and I think that's kind of a cool idea, that the arm kind of becomes the knob, and like as you position it, the associated leg like moves faster or slower. So yeah, I think this is pretty close to like final thing to give my little nephew. I'm pretty excited. Let's finish it up. So the moment of truth here. I kind of have very low hopes for this. I don't think it's going to be able to walk, but we'll see. Let me get a good gait going here. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. You hold him. Kinda. Interesting. That's kind of what I suspected. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to make some different shoes that are like compressible. Here's the problem. I am running out of time. I need to get on the road today, and I have this idea for this massive compliant shoe that will allow the robot to be able to balance while it walks. But at the end of the day, this is just kind of comical. And, you know, this is just really due to my lack of experience in designing bipedal gait mechanisms. So the robot can't really walk, but I mean, it looks cool. He can wiggle his toes around, you know, that's kind of cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is print the arms, and then I think I'm all set. I think I'm gonna get on the road, hand this off to him in a couple days when it's Christmas, and hopefully he enjoys what I've been able to accomplish here. It's nothing special. All right, here we go. He's got little tiny arms. Yay! Oh, his arms are so small. All right. Yeah, he can't really walk, you know, but that's okay. He can stand if you give him the right position. See? Look, isn't he cool? Yeah, I think my nephew's gonna like this just fine. I'm excited to see his reaction to it. Also, this blue filament here is glow in the dark. What? That's crazy. That's actually really cool. Wow. That's so awesome. I actually really like that. Nice. Real happy to have learned about the continuously variable transmission. That's like a super cool idea that I didn't know existed, and I guess some automobiles use it. Like that's wild. I would love to make some stuff like that in the future. I hope you enjoyed the process. We had some twists and turns for surely, but you know, for a project that lasts only 2 days, I'm pretty satisfied with the results. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the.amazing.labs. Support me on Patreon, just $1 a month. But really, all you have to do to support the channel is subscribe. So there are 2 videos in the works right now. One about continuing the advanced string shooter project, and the other about a trip I took to New York in early November that gave me a lot to think about. And I'm gonna show my face for the first time
And many of you who've been to my Instagram lives, you've probably already seen it, but this mask right here is gonna lose its utility for me real soon. Enjoy your last glimpses of it. Now with that, I'll sign off, and I hope you guys have a very wonderful holiday. Stay safe, stay amazing, and I'll see you guys hopefully real soon. Feliz Navidad.